Hey folks, Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling here. I'm Mad Dog, and while Merrill, he's out playing a round of golf, but we'll catch up with him in just a moment or two. We're at the Menominee Cultural Museum, and today we're going to take a little step back in time. The rich culture, history, and traditional foods of the Native American tribes of Wisconsin. We're talking wild game, fish, wild rice, maple syrup, fruits, vegetables, nuts, and currants. There are 11 tribes of Wisconsin, all with their own unique culture and tradition. You can go online at NATOW.org, that's Native American Tribes of Wisconsin, and they would love to share their history and culture. Now they have several special events, powwows, museums you can get to, and more. That's NATOW.org. We'll be right back with more of Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling right after this. Hey Merrill, how do you eat smoked turkey?
Well, Mad Dog, I gobble it up.
Join the exclusive Mad Dog and Merrill Grillin' Club. Every member receives the official Grillin' Club t-shirt and towel. Discover new recipes, chat with fellow grillers, watch valuable videos, learn new jokes, or submit a unique recipe for a chance to see it on our show. Log in now for your chance to share in the Grillin' Club. View past episodes of our show by going to maddogandmerrill.com and click on Midwest Grillin'.
All right, well, welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grilling. I'll tell you what, the golfers are out. How is golfing, Merrill?
Well, I better stick to grilling, I think, to be honest with
better.
you. I'll just brush away here.
Well, I appreciate you not going another round of golfing. We actually have the good folks at NATOW. They're out golfing right now. We're going to do some wonderful Native American grilling. Wisconsin Native American grilling. I'm gonna let you start with your bison.
Oh, yeah, we got bison. Bison's very good. It's really nice and lean. It's something back in the days, I don't want to say in the days, but you know, they did a lot of wild game. A lot of people are not used to really doing wild game or how do you do wild game, but I'll show exactly how they done it. Now I've got I'm doing bison today. I've got a tenderloin.
But that could be elk, could be venison, and they're all lean cuts of meat.
Right, exactly. And then we've got a New York strip. And we got a ribeye.
Absolutely.
Okay, now this meat, as you see, is very, very lean.
The ribeye's mine.
No, hey, no, it's not. All right, it's very lean. Here I've got some cornmeal, and I've actually got some hickory nuts. You can use any type of nuts that you want to.
Ground hickory nuts.
But a lot of people do not realize that you could go ahead and place this on here and grill it direct on the grill. So I'm going to mix this up together, and I don't think I'll need that much on the cornmeal. I'm going to go a little bit lighter on the cornmeal.
I might add some to my salmon, but I don't think so.
Yeah, okay, all right. Now you can season this. I've got a little bit of sodium here. You can use any type of seasoning that you like, but I'm going to put a little bit on that. Now what's really going to nice is it's going to sort of put a nice crust on that. Don't worry, you're not going to burn it at all whatsoever. But I'm going to pour a little oil in here.
They're cuts of meat. They're lean.
Yeah, and you definitely need to do that. Oil them actually on both sides of thank you.
Yeah.
If you do that the other ones, that would be great.
Well,
Phil, you're doing good. Were you ever a flipper, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that.
Get that one too now. I'll flip them to watch this. I'll flip them both. Okay, there we go.
You got it. All right. So we got them oiled. And then I'm just going to place the breading on there. Now you could actually even let them sit for a little while, but we're going to go ahead and place ours right on.
That's going to be, that cornmeal is going to be unusual with the ground nut mixture together. Yeah. That's going to be phenomenal.
You know, it gives it a really nice crunch. You know, if we have people at home that aren't going to use the cornmeal or the nuts, you know, flour will do good. You know, we've done the Sicilian steaks before, that type of thing. But this, what I like about it is actually the crunch with the nuts on there. Sounds pretty good, the crunch with the nuts.
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to finish breading this up, and then we'll go ahead and put that on the grill. Cook a direct method of grilling. Especially when you're doing bison, you want to cook it very fast in a way, or very slow, but you don't want to overcook it. People have a tendency to really overcook bison. All right, I'm all set, sir.
Sounds good. Why don't you take those over? Let's take them over, toss them on the grill. Should we do that?
Yeah, let's do that. I'll sit right in there, okay?
Absolutely. Come on, I'll go with you.
Good.
The grill is fired up on a nice high heat. Hopefully not too high of a heat. Oh, looking good.
We'll be fine. We'll be fine.
We're just going to toss those on there. You're going to sear those up a little bit on both sides and turn them down?
Yep, exactly. Matter of fact, I might even go ahead, sear them up. I got both burners on. I'm going to sear them up, and then I'm going to shift them over to one side and shut off the heat on that side of an indirect method of grilling.
Well, one of the great staples in Wisconsin during the Native American is great fish. That's one of their staples. They have beautiful salmon. They have some walleye we're going to be doing. We're going to show you how to do frog legs in a minute.
I love frog legs.
Yeah. And before I do this, I think what I'm going to do is back up a little bit. We're going to do a couple things here. We're going to actually make a wild rice stuffing. Wild rice was a staple, whether it was from the river or the lake. All the 11 tribes of Wisconsin had wild rice.
Okay.
They harvested the wild rice.
Sure.
They actually, during the August period of time, they went and they thrashed the grains that along the river, along the lake. They thrashed the grains, and then they took it by the water side, and that's where they laid it out and they cleaned it.
Oh, really?
They took the caterpillars, the bugs, the stems off it, off the nice little stems, off these actually had a nice little husk over the top of them.
Okay.
So that's the grains, the pure grains of wild rice. They had a husk over the top of them that long, and they cleaned everything off, and then they took that back to camp, and they actually did a couple things. They started a small fire. They took a kettle. They put the husked wild rice in that kettle, portion by portion.
Right.
They took a paddle like this, and it's called parching. And they actually rolled it in that kettle near the fire so it wouldn't scorch. And if they let it go too far, it actually popped like popcorn.
I never thought
small
of that.
little kernels, but it was parched. And then they took that and they did something called, they called it the dancing the rice.
Dancing the rice?
Dancing the rice. And they actually took a nice little tarp and they laid the parched rice over the top of that. They had moccasins on, and they would dance over the top lightly, and that would break away the husks a tad bit.
Things you learn on this show.
And then they did something called winnowing. And winnowing is when they put it in a basket then after that, and they threw it up against the wind, and all the husks would fall off, and they got to the pure rice. So we're actually going to take our wild rice. We're going to take one of their staples is beans, nuts, and currants, and we're going to mix those all together into a nice little wild rice stuffing, and we're going to use this throughout our show here today. But I'm going to show you how to do a stuffed salmon right now.
Okay.
Here's a nice slab of salmon. We've done it with walleye. It's a little more delicate to do, but we're going to take that slab of salmon, and it's going to be hard to show. Why don't you grab this out of the way?
Get out of the way. I'll move it over here, sir.
And I'm actually going to take a knife, and along the skin with a nice filleting knife, I'm going to make a neat little pocket.
Ah, okay.
And we're going to keep that pocket going as far as I can. I think one more little scoots and I'll be fine. We don't want to cut up into it. And we're going to take our wild rice stuffing that we just created, and we're going to add that into the side of our salmon, and then we're going to glisten it with the oil.
That's going to come out delicious.
It's going to be absolutely delicious. Now I'm going to set the grill for medium direct heat. We have the beautiful wild rice stuffing on the inside. We're going to place this on the grill. We're going to go over here.
All right.
I don't believe the Native Americans had gas grills, but we're using gas grills here today. We're going to put this on our grill, a nice medium direct heat, and when the natural juices, we talked about salmon before, when the natural juices start to bead to the top, that's when that salmon is done. I'm going to have to be cautious to make sure everything heats on the inside, but I think we're going to be just fine.
I think so.
And we'll get to that in a minute or two. We're going to do some glazes for both items with maple syrup and applesauce and some other wonderful stuff. But here's another little, and I saw these in the store, and I said Native Americans had to do frog legs.
I love frog legs.
So I actually took some wonderful frog legs. I put a little oil and some fresh sage over the top, and we're going to put those on the grill and put a glaze on those in just a minute or two also.
I like it.
So a nice medium-low heat. Frog legs are delicious. So we have the salmon, we have your bison on the grill. We're going to be right back, create some glazes. We got Indian bread to do.
Look at you well today.
And the three sisters are here.
The three sisters?
Yep, they're right next door. We'll go get them in a minute.
The three stooges, the three sisters?
Three sisters. We'll be right back with the three sisters.
The three sisters?
Yep.
If you have a comment or suggestion about today's show, contact us at maddogandmerrill.com. And don't forget to friend us on Facebook.
Welcome back to Mad Dog and Merrill's and Kirby's Midwest Grilling. Kirby, thanks so much for joining us. We do appreciate it. Kirby Metoxen.
Thank you, sir.
From the Oneida Nation.
From the Oneida Nation. And I'll tell you what, we are at Pine Hills Golf Course at Stockbridge, Muncie. NATOW, you have your 12th conference.
The 12th Annual Native American Tourism of Wisconsin Conference, golf outing today.
Yeah, and it's a wonderful time. We appreciate it. And one of the things that we're here to promote is everything that we're creating up here, the beautiful bison that we did, the three sisters we're going to talk about, the salmon, the fried bread we're going to do, that people can look on website at natow.org and learn throughout the whole state of Wisconsin different events, whether it's powwows, whether it's their museums, whether it's harvest fests, that the public can attend and go to all these events and actually taste
Native American cuisine.
better than what we're doing, better than what us white guys are doing here today, right,
Exactly.
Kirby? Hey, real quick, Meryl's going to do a nice little finishing glaze for our bison and salmon.
All right, I got some regular applesauce in there, which you would. A little bit of maple syrup, which I like using maple syrup on anything. And you can do this just to adjust to your taste. And of course, we've got some hickory nuts here, ground hickory nuts. I'm going to place that in there and mix this all up and use this.
What kind of nuts?
Hickory, sir.
Okay.
Hickory, 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 hickory. Hickory, hickory, doc, we got hickory nuts. All right, mix it all around.
And one of the things that I'll be doing right now is the Native Americans, and not all the tribes called it the Three Sisters, but they grew corn. They grew corn, which grew tall to the sun, and the beans then were able to down below planted next to them, so they could spiral themselves up the
Like a
corn
trellis.
stalks like a trellis. And it actually added nitrogen back to the soils to help the corn.
Wow, you did good in school.
And then the squash was planted to protect and keep the weeds and everything else from going towards it. So the squash, then these are the Three Sisters. We have the beans, we have the corn, we have the squash. A couple of things we can do, whether it's summer squash like the yellow one, we can take and hollow. Meryl thought these were canoes.
Oh, I thought they were.
Meryl
I
thought
didn't know how you could get in those,
we're
Kirby.
actually going to take some of our wonderful
your shoes.
stuffing. We're going to take some of our wonderful stuffing and add that to our zucchini. But here's a great way to do it. We took our acorn squash, and right back here, if I'm not mistaken, we took some of the Three Sisters, and we took some wild rice. We stuffed our squash with the beautiful corn that we took off the cob. We have the beans in here. We have the wonderful different types of squash. The salmon, Kirby, we know is done because it's beaded to the white. That's the natural proteins being
What
put.
are these little things?
Frog legs. You guys had you had to have done frog legs, didn't you, Kirby? And then over here, wonderful things is wild mushrooms. Of course, we took some nice portobellas, but there's wonderful morels and other mushrooms that grow in Wisconsin that were used by the Native Americans. So we took some portobellas, we browned those up. We took some wonderful wild stuffings, and we put those inside. A little game hen here that we stuffed with our wild rice stuffing also.
I thought it was a chicken.
No, that's a game hen. That could be pheasant or quail. I wasn't sure when I shot it. And then our beautiful bison that we did. Let's put that little finishing sauce on the bison and see what we have.
All right, sounds good.
That's
sounds
a wonderful bison.
Hey,
That's
we're getting an audience.
that's actually from the Oneida tribe, is this bison.
Really?
Yes, it is.
the
and so
Oneida
very
Buffalo
good.
Farm.
The Oneida Buffalo Farm, thank you very much.
There
And
you
don't
go,
forget,
sir.
people can go on NATOW.org, NATOW.org, and learn more great ideas and places to go throughout the summertime.
Go for
Beautiful.
it, bud.
This is the beautiful buffalo bison, and it's done to
Oh,
perfection.
perfect.
A nice little pink on the inside.
I'm
Isn't
gonna have
that
to grab
delicious?
that.
And bison is lean, it's heart healthy for you, it lowers your cholesterol, it's low in fat.
That's something I'm not. Don't try to match my cholesterol with my weight.
I think we should lead this segment with one of those awe shots and we all take a bite
All
of
right.
bison. How's
Okay,
that?
sounds good.
Kirby, you ready for this?
Sure, come on, go
grab
for
your
it.
people.
All
grab
right.
your people, grab your
You
people.
don't have to. You don't even have to say ah.
Oh man,
Wow.
that is absolutely delicious. Where'd you just go?
I
Boy.
ate it already.
We'll be right back with more Mad Dog and Merrill and Kirby's
Yeah.
Midwest Grilling in just a moment. We got some fried bread to do. Want to see my fried bread in a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Oh,
It's
yes,
not quite
it
the
is.
way that the natives do it, I found out.
Is that like buns?
That is almost, exactly. We're going to do some sweetbreads with it.
Okay.
Thanks, Kirby.
View past episodes of our show by going to maddogandmerrill.com and click on Midwest Grillin'.
It has been reported that Mad Dog and Merrill's signature sauces and spices have been seen around the world, and now we want to know, where in the world is Mad Dog and Merrill? Take a selfie photo of yourself holding a Mad Dog and Merrill's product in front of a sign or interesting landmark, post the photo to Mad Dog and Merrill's Facebook page, and once a month, one lucky fan will win a grilling set of Mad Dog and Merrill's products. Go to facebook.com/Mad Dog and Merrill. Happy grilling!
Hey, welcome back to Midwest Grilling with Mad Dog and Merrill. We're having a wonderful time. Hey, we just got doing some fried bread. Mad Dog, you got a little fried bread back there, sir?
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, Merrill fried up the fried bread in the cast iron skillet. Now it's the first time, and I actually did some nice fried bread.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, but it's actually the first time that I've created fried bread, and it's a reproduction of what Native Americans of Wisconsin would do.
Yes.
And every reproduction is not exactly to T nor is my fried bread, I've been found out.
Well, I like how you explained that being a reproduction, but you did a good job if it's the first time.
Well, you know, fried bread is a staple, and obviously it was a good filler to have at probably most every meals. And they had to, first of all, they had to either do grind the flours, the grains, whether it was with a rolling pin, with a mortar and pestle, or later on they had the big milling wheels.
Oh yeah.
The stone wheels that they had, and those would grind the grains to make the flours that they can make the fry bread with. But this is it's not the best in the world, but why don't you do a little, maybe a sweetened bread with it, okay?
I know, and we've came a long way, you know, really actually since then. But I'm just going to brush, or I'm not going to put on, but we got some maple syrup, okay? Because this will soak up really good, make it really nice and sweet.
Now Kirby will want some of that.
Yeah, you better believe it, I want that. Let that absorb in there a little bit. And then a little bit of currants, because I'm always currant.
Yep, nice dried currants.
Little currants. And a little bit of walnuts this time on there. How's that?
Sounds good. And you know what I found out is that obviously fresh berries, when in season, were used. So I'm sure they must have served fresh berries with their fried bread, if I'm not mistaken. I would assume so, whether it's raspberries, whether it's blueberries, or wonderful fresh strawberries. So we'll add some nice berries there. Oh. But I thought of another great idea, because there's a lot of great apple orchards. And I'll tell you what, one of the best times we had as our daughter was growing up, our daughter Sage was growing up, whenever there was a powwow, whenever there was an event that the Native Americans throughout Wisconsin put on, we tried to go to it. It was a great culture, it was great history. The publics are always invited. That's one of the things that NATOW does in the conference here, is to make sure that you and I and our families are invited, and they can go on natow.org, NATOW.org, to learn all the great events. You know, another great website is travelwisconsin.com.
It is, yep.
And of course, Discover Wisconsin. You can go on and learn different events that happen throughout the year, the course of the year, that all the public is invited. Now, here's a great way to do some wonderful apples. I got my knife here. We have some wonderful little Macintosh, and I'm just going to sit and I'm going to put those in quarters, and I'm going to take the core out. And all I did last night was I drizzled some maple syrup over the top. And another one of Kirby's favorite is some dried nuts, dried walnuts. And I actually took that and I maple syrup those apple wedges all night long, and then we put them directly on the grates of the grill. And let me grab my spatula here. And my idea for fried bread today would be to take some wonderful apple wedges I did and put those on the fried bread. And I bet you that would be just absolutely wonderful on top of there. So now we have several different ways to do fried bread. A lot of the great Native American events that happen throughout Wisconsin, they have fried breads.
Sure.
And I love them. They make the tacos with them and things like that. They're just delicious. Now here's our salmon that we did. I'm gonna let you help me with the salmon. See if we can't bring that baby over. The salmon, remember, we glistened it with an oil. We stuffed it a little bit, and we're gonna take our spatula and we're just gonna work between the skin and the meats. And once a year, the Native Americans have a ceremonial grand opening of the walleye season. It's a tradition for spearing and netting. And so we're going to take our salmon. We're going to pop that right on top of there. Good. There's the skin left right on there. We've got the salmon that we've stuffed. And let's see if we can't go to camera number 2.
I can't wait to see this.
I know, it's going to be just delicious. And pop that baby open. And there is probably one of the best salmon you'll ever have. Absolutely gorgeous.
Good job.
Whether it's harvesting of wild game, of fish, the beautiful breads, the vegetables that we did, they were all staples and a need for families hundreds of centuries ago, a couple of centuries ago. But today we take things for advantage. So let's enjoy some great culture, some great history.
Let's enjoy. I'm all for
Let's
it, man.
enjoy the salmon.
I know.
We'll be right back with more of Mad Dog and Meryl's Midwest Grillin' in just a moment.
It's delicious.
Doesn't that
like
look wonderful?
With the beans. I really do.
Yeah.
If you have a comment or suggestion about today's show, contact us at maddogandmeryl.com. And don't forget to friend us on Facebook.
Well, I'll tell you what, we've had a wonderful time here today, and we didn't get any golfing in, but we certainly created some wonderful, semi-authentic historical, cultural dishes of Native Americans of Wisconsin. Hey, Kirby, as I dish this up, why don't you tell us the importance of NATOW?
NATO is a platform for tribes to tell their stories, what it was like, what happened, and what it's like today. And to entice visitors to come to our reservations and learn about who we are, how we got here, what happened. Try some of our Native American cuisine.
Absolutely.
Which looks like you did a lot of gathering here.
Good, he did good. Now,
Here, put that in your mouth.
there you go. And how many tribes are in NATOW?
We have 11 tribes in Wisconsin, and we represent all the 11 tribes. And this is one of our annual events, the NATO, Native American Tourism of Wisconsin Gulf Outing.
I'll tell you what. What's that?
Go ahead. I was wondering, what is this here?
That's our feast. That's our sweetened bread.
That's your
Just for
bread.
you.
That's our bread. That's our fried bread. That's exactly right.
With the maple.
I'll tell you what, folks can go online once again at natow.org and learn not necessarily how to create the dishes we did here today, but the wonderful events throughout Wisconsin that you can visit yourselves with your family and enjoy like I did with our family when we were younger. How's the salmon, guys?
Very good. Did a good job.
Happy grilling, folks.
Yeah,
we'll be
we'll see
back
you.
again. Mad Dog and Merrill and Kirby McToxin.
Mad Dog and Merrill's Midwest Grillin' is a production of Lashbro Visual Communications.